From WREL News and the Capital Broadcasting Podcast Network, this is your Coronavirus North Carolina News Brief for Thursday, June 25th, 2020. I'm Cliff Baumgardner. Here's the latest from WREL.com. After 5 p.m. on Friday, people who refuse to cover their faces in public could face citations under a new statewide order from Governor Roy Cooper. But some government officials have said they won't enforce the rule. Yesterday, Cooper said that businesses and customers could be cited if they do not obey the new order. Law enforcement can use trespassing laws to help businesses enforce these rules when customers refuse to obey them. But public officials across the state are responding differently to the new mask mandate. Not all leaders are on board with enforcing and requiring citizens in their community to wear masks. For example, several local sheriffs say the governor is overreaching with his authority. The Halifax County Sheriff's Office posted on its Facebook page that it would not enforce Cooper's order. And Sampson County Sheriff Jimmy Thornton also posted on Facebook Wednesday night that his office would not be enforcing the mask order in areas of his jurisdiction. The sheriffs say that wearing a mask should be a personal decision, not an action required by the state. There is overwhelming evidence to suggest wearing a mask is the best way to protect oneself and others from contracting the virus. One model from the University of Washington estimates that by October 1st, more than 179,000 people in the U.S. will have died because of COVID-19. But if 95% of Americans wear masks, researchers estimate there could be 34,000 fewer deaths. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends wearing a mask in public settings where standing 6 feet apart from people is difficult to maintain, like grocery stores, pharmacies, and other areas of community-based transmission. Virginia has seen a steady decline in cases after masks were required in mid-May. Exceptions to North Carolina's mask requirement include people who cannot wear one for medical or religious reasons, people who are eating or exercising, people who are in their own vehicle, and people who could be at risk for injury if wearing one at work. Yesterday, New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey asked for travelers from states with high coronavirus infection rates to go into quarantine for 14 days in a bid to preserve hard-fought gains as caseloads rise elsewhere in the country. What was presented as a travel advisory that starts today affects more than a half dozen states, including North Carolina. The quarantine will last 2 weeks from the time of last contact within the identified state. The announcement comes as summer travel to the state's beaches, parks, and other attractions, not to mention New York City itself, would normally swing into high gear. The quarantine applies to people coming from states with a positive test rate higher than 10 per 100,000 residents on a 7-day average, or with a 10% or higher positivity rate over 7 days. Enforcement will vary by state. The Cuomo administration said violators in New York will be subject to mandatory quarantine and face fines from $2,000 to $10,000. Violators could be discovered at business meetings or during a traffic stop, he said. It was not clear what, if any, penalties violators in New Jersey and Connecticut will face. Within hours of Governor Roy Cooper pushing back a reopening date for gyms and bars across North Carolina by at least 3 weeks, lawmakers failed yesterday in their effort to bypass Cooper's order and open the businesses immediately. The House voted 66 to 53 in favor of overriding Cooper's veto on a bill that would have allowed bars and gyms to reopen, but that fell short of the 3/5 majority needed for the override to move forward. Gyms and bars have been closed since late March when Cooper issued a stay-at-home order to limit the spread of coronavirus. Republican lawmakers have said they should be allowed to resume operation at half capacity as long as they follow social distancing rules, require employees to wear masks, and adhere to strict cleaning protocols. House Bill 594 would have allowed that, with bars serving customers outdoors. It also would have allowed restaurants, which have been open for more than a month, to serve people outdoors to expand beyond the 50% capacity limit. Cooper vetoed the bill last Friday, saying that the virus's spread was accelerating and not abating. A provision of House Bill 594 would have required Cooper to maintain majority approval from the Council of State to close any gym or bar again if, for example, it was linked to a new virus outbreak. Republicans hold a 6-4 majority on the council, a group of elected statewide officials, and several members have openly criticized Cooper's actions during the pandemic response. And lastly, researchers are looking for volunteers for a coronavirus vaccine trial in Wilmington. Trial Management Associates, an integrated site network, and Drs. Bart Williams and Will Jones of Wrightsville Family Practice in Wilmington have been selected to conduct the first Phase 3 trial of a COVID vaccine in the United States following a Phase 2 trial. TMA and Wrightsville Family Practice are recruiting healthy study volunteers ages 18 and older from Wilmington and the surrounding area to participate in the trial. They're especially seeking healthcare workers, first responders, and other essential workers who face higher exposure to the virus. Dr. Bart Williams, the principal investigator of the study, said they're looking for volunteers who come in contact with lots of people throughout the day, such as those working in healthcare, service, restaurants, retail, grocery stores, and other high-traffic areas. Williams said the Phase 2 trial has been showing the vaccine is safe, so they are close to moving to Phase 3, the last step before FDA approval. If anyone in Wilmington, North Carolina and the surrounding communities would like more information or to sign up to participate, they can contact TMA at covidvaccine@trialmgt.com. This has been your Coronavirus North Carolina News Brief for Thursday, June 25th, 2020. As always, if you like the information and resources you get from this show, let us know. Leave a rating and review wherever it is you listen. Plus, while you're there, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our new episodes. Thanks for listening.